everybody, I'm here with Josh Van Til of Annie Mac. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great, Russ. Hey, thanks so much for having me on today. It's my pleasure to sponsor your show. Yeah, we help people get mortgages, get into the home of their dreams, and also care for those homes, do remodels, things like that, use the equity in their home. And I would love to talk to people out there, your friends, your families, that are either looking for a home or looking to remodel or just need to refinance because you have an outrageous percentage rate, whatever the case may be. You can contact me at jvantil, V as in Victor, A-N-T as in Tom, I-L, at annie-mac.com, or call me, 541-740-2576. And thanks again, Russ.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Russ here with Russ Reels Live, ready to have some author talk today. Super, super excited about my guest today. I have the fabulous Paula Newman, the wonderful Nancey West, and my good buddy, D. Scott Smith, all authors here today to share with us their latest books. I think they're all authors of more than one book, but they got a new book out, each one of them. And we're going to start with Paula today. But before we get to that, I want to give you a little bit more information. First of all, so thankful to Josh Van Til and Annie Mac Mortgage, all about the stuff that he can help you with. But he is underwriting the Walk to End Alzheimer's and the Alzheimer's Association. You saw that in the ad up front. And this Saturday is the Willamette Valley Mid-Valley Walk here in Albany, Oregon. Now, there's walks all over the country, but our local walk is right here coming up this Saturday. And what it's all about is raising awareness and raising money for the fight to find the cure against Alzheimer's. You know, there's so many diseases. Most of them all have a cure. There's cure for cancer. There's cure for all kinds of things, but not for Alzheimer's. There's no cure. So today, I just want to encourage you to get involved with the Alzheimer's Association. If you have a walk in your area, find out about it. You can click on any of my social media and find information on the Alzheimer's Walk, or just go to alz.org. That's alz.org, and you can get the walk in your local area and find out more about that. As most of you know, my mama has Alzheimer's. It is in the late stages of Alzheimer's. My dad also, when he passed away, he had dementia at the end also. And so I've dealt with that with my family. And, you know, I have learned that, you know, my mama still loves me. I still love her, see her. But you know what? I want to find that cure for people so others don't have to suffer with this disease. So the Walk to End Alzheimer's and the Alzheimer's Association is our big focus for today. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that. And I'm Russ Hedge. The best way to connect with me is to go to russhedge.com. That's right, russhedge.com. I could probably even put that up on the screen. There it is, russhedge.com. And you can get all information about me. I would love to connect with you. So you can go to any of my social media. You can go to any, my email, my phone number, whatever, and you can even schedule time to connect directly with me. You know, I love life. I love people. I love to connect. Today, what's amazing is the books are about loving life, loving people, loving God, networking and connecting with people and making it a better life, because, you know, we are better together. So we're going to talk a lot about that today on Russ Reels Live. And you know what? I'm going to get things going here because we've talked enough about me. I'm going to make sure that we can talk about our fun guest. First one up is Paula Newman. Give it up for Paula. How's it going, Paula?
It's great, Russ. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being such a great encourager to me and all of us out there.
Well, you know what? I appreciate you more than you know. And currently, I am almost done with building a business by building relationships. Man, you and I think a lot alike, but I am learning so much from you and from your book. It's been amazing. And I just love the whole format of your book, too. It's very easy to read. And so I'm going to let you tell us more about that. You've been a business owner for years. So you've got a lot of experience as far as building relationships to build your business. So give us a little snapshot of your book and what it's all about.
Yeah, I think Jim and I have been in business for 38 years. And so when you've been in business that long, it's you want to help others avoid some of the mistakes that we have and also encourage them in their journey. We love small businesses. We believe that living in the United States of America, where we have a free enterprise system, that it is still the place where people can make their dreams come true. And that's really what we had in mind, was helping others in their business make their dreams come true. And the way that I am hardwired is I love relationships. I think it comes from never having a sister, growing up with two brothers and in a neighborhood with all boys. And it seemed like everywhere I went, I was surrounded by boys. So I always wanted a sister and relationship with women. And so I've been in women's ministry many years as well. But women business owners are just amazing creatures. In fact, many of our businesses, our managers have been single women. And Jim especially has had a heart to help them where they don't have the encouragement, don't have maybe the knowledge of finances. So we say that our first customer is our employees. And so that's where the relationships really begin. And in this market, in this day and age where people are really struggling to find employees, we I never had any idea when I started to write a book, because this is my first and only. Nancey and Scott have something over me, and I don't plan on writing anymore in the near future right now. But yeah, relationships with our employees is our first customer. And I think that comes out of Jim and I had people that we worked for that took us under their wing in an amazing way. She was actually my second boss. Her name was Gladys and Carl, and they owned a restaurant on the highway in Des Moines, Iowa. And so they gave everything to us. And she literally is the one that pierced my ears and put her real ruby antique earrings in my ear. And this list goes on of what she did for me. And so that has become my calling, to give to our employees, to help them on their road, on their journey, in their profession, and teach them some skills. And so that's really what's in the book, is a lot of what's in our handbook.
Yeah, and you're so amazing the way you run your businesses. I love your restaurants. I mean, Shemitza Public House here in Lebanon is fabulous. And I just love the whole thing. And the fact that you are God focused and is so, so important to me. And speaking of relationships, it really starts within ourselves to make sure that we feel good and are grounded in God or whatever our purpose and our foundation is in life. And Nancey West, who we're bringing in next, her book has just been so awesome. And I've read it as well. Liking Myself, Loving My Life by Nancey West, which is, I don't know, second or third book, right, Nancey?
It depends on how you look at it. I self-published one a year ago that I am just now in the process of republishing with the help of someone who knows more than I do. So Liking Myself, Loving My Life came out in March. It's 21 days to liking yourself. And that's what I was just saying a little while ago about the relationship. It is awesome to have these relationships that Paula talks about, but it's easier to have those relationships if you develop a better relationship with yourself. Yeah. If you learn to like yourself, not just to say, I love myself, but you got to like yourself and be your best friend. So I did 21 days to liking yourself, and it came out in March, and I have a journal that goes with it. So you could order both of those. And then going live on October 1st is the Kindle version of my devotional, Unbeatable. It's
Awesome.
100 devotionals for women. And
Which,
then to throw in too many books here, but then taking a little bit of a twist here, and October the 10th, I am launching my first children's book. And it is a Christmas book, and it's about the blessings of the Christmas tree farm. It's Bible stories made real for children on the Christmas tree farm. So I've got, actually, I have 4 books on Kindle, and because I have one that's 10 years old, it is still out there on the Lebanon Soup Kitchen. So
well,
I think
that
all
is,
of mine are basically about liking yourself, developing a relationship with yourself and with God.
well, and that's what I love about you, Nancey. Really, I mean, you're definitely God focused first. And then really, we do have to have really a strong foundation like ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't love and take care of others. And I think that's a real strong theme in all of your books. And I've read your last book as well, your devotional book. And, you know, you had some struggles in life and you were able, with God's help, to come through those. And I just really, really think that you're amazing, all the things you've done. And
Thank you.
you bet. And I'm looking forward to that children's book. You said that's coming out when?
Well, I just received all the colored pages today, and so I'm hoping that it'll be out by the 10th, October 10th.
Cool.
Somewhere's around there. I'll do a launch date for it. It is a great Christmas gift this year. I've been trying to reach out to organizations that work with children, but it's about the poor little kid that has a Christmas tree, and he says, but it's Jesus' birthday. How can I have a tree? And so he goes to the tree farm and he learns how he can look at a tree and he can see a lot of the lessons that are taught in the Bible.
That is incredible. Well, I'm looking forward to that. My wife is a librarian at an elementary school. I have to get it to her and she can shuffle it in the library. Yeah, you know, what I love about both of you again is God first. You know, these books that you've done are amazing, and we're going to get the information up there, the Amazon links, because you can get all that on Amazon. I'm glad you got a Kindle version coming out of your Liking Myself and Loving My Life, because that's going to be really good. Speaking of Kindle version, speaking of loving God, speaking of connecting with people, D. Scott Smith is in the house. Also has just released a book, Relationships Grow Your Business, by D. Scott Smith. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's fun to be on this side, because I've been doing a lot of author interviews over on Amazon Live. And so it's kind of fun to be on, if you will, on this side of the microphone. And as we were in the green room, Nancey, I love what you were talking about with loving yourself first, because that is the person we spend the most time with. And so it makes sense that we would have a good relationship there. And Paula, obviously, we are very simpatico on this whole relationships and using that to build your business. And so really this book here that is released, we're focusing on, is Relationships Grow Your Business. It is a method and a process for networking. And I subtitled it Discovering the Treasure in Your Professional Network. And the first secret that I give to people is that you already have a fabulous professional network filled with remarkable people who want you to succeed. And so my heart is with the solo entrepreneur, with the freelance professional, because those small businesses, 20 maybe and fewer employees, because we'll come through the pandemic, the world will be changed and made better, not because of a government program, but because of entrepreneurs who are out solving problems. And so that's really what I wanted to do, was give solo entrepreneurs an opportunity to be overwhelmed in their businesses, but overwhelmed with referrals. And so I built my business 100% on referrals. Although I do paid advertising for other businesses, every one of the clients that I work with and the stack that I've got lined up have all come through referrals, through the relationships. And so in this book, I give you a method to do that. And there's also a link to a free video training to give you some tools as well. So that's all contained right there in the book.
What I love about you, Scott, is you're very systematic. And I learn a lot from you because over my life, I've had to become more systematic because I'm totally right-brained and I would lose my head if it was not connected. At least that's what my mom used to always tell me. And so, so I have to become more systematic, and you give such great information to people on how to be more systematic in your connecting, networking, and building your business through relationships. Now, Paula, back to you, because I love walking into your restaurant and watching you in action, because you don't just write it in a book. You live it every day. You travel around to your different restaurants, and you guys have such a warm, loving feel when you walk in. Who wouldn't want to be in your restaurant?
That comes from the heart of God, because he loves people. And I think we forget that when we are irritated by people, that he loves them where they are. And it's just like the elephant in the room. When there is negative tension, everybody feels it and senses it. But it's the same thing with the love of God in your heart. So I have to make sure I check before I go into my restaurant that my heart is in the right place and that I'm ready to love others.
Yeah, I think I couldn't agree more, 100%. You know, we all, I always talk a lot about purpose in your life. Clearly, my overriding purpose in my life is to share the love of God with people. And, I think when you have a strong base and you have a purpose built on God or whatever someone's life is built on, that they can love and share with other people, I think that's so incredible. And Nancey, you bring it up so well too. It doesn't matter what you've been through. You need to love yourself and like yourself first so that you can give to others, because we all want to serve and give people.
Yes. And at first I thought I was writing to the people that I work with at the soup kitchen. And then I started realizing that the people that I can affect and that I have been able to help come from any walk of life, any age. I was amazed at a 70-year-old friend of mine who read the book and had tears in her eyes because she never realized some of her abuse in childhood and how it had carried through her life. And I just think that no matter what, no matter how much confidence you think you have in yourself, there's probably something in the book, some little grains of truth that you could grab, because I talk about a lot of different areas that, maybe you don't have a problem with self-talk. Maybe you always talk positive to yourself like you do, Russ. You always talk positive to all of us. No matter where I see you, it's always upbeat and positive. But if you might have some other areas where you're tripping yourself up. And I talk about sabotage and ways that you may not be aware that you are tripping yourself up. And then I talk about the spirals and of when you build positive on positive, you build that spiral upward. And when you start criticizing yourself, you're going to feel worse. And then you're going to criticize yourself more. Then you're going to feel even worse. And it's a spiral downward. And in my books, I talk about how you can stop that, cut off that spiral downward, turn it around and make it go up. Because once you start the spiral upward, you'll begin to feel it and you'll begin to see how it really is powerful. Words are powerful, and how you use them and how you treat yourself is very, very powerful.
Right. Well, I would be the first to say you can definitely live the life you choose, and you can create that upward spiral. I think I'm a huge proponent of self-talk, obviously. Thank you for that comment. Paula, I think you even talk about self-talk, some in your book. And Scott, I mean, you and I have talked about it a million times. I start talking to myself first thing in the morning, because you got to set that foundation. Mm-hmm. And Scott, you are so good at that too. Through all of your networking and connecting, you're constantly sharing that positive message.
Well, thanks, Russ. a lot of people think about networking as going to events, and networking is that's part of it, but that's not the bulk of what networking is, because sometimes you think when you walk into that room and you see all these groups of people and you think, what do I have to offer? But I guarantee you that if you're there, you have something to offer. So whether you're connecting virtually or whether you're connecting in person, face to face, you absolutely have something to offer. And one of the things, Russ, that I although I would love to have people go out and buy the book on Amazon or whatever, but I want to take just a moment and give the listeners to Russ Reels just the core essence of my book of relationships, grow your business. And that is, first of all, I told you already have a fabulous network. The second is that you have two major components of your network. Thousands of people that you know, that's your extended network. Then you have your active network. That's the roughly 100 to 150 people that you actually will do business with. And this follows Robin Dunbar's rule. It says we can manage about 150 relationships. And everyone take notes on this one, because there are 5 components within your active network. There's mentors and advisors, the people you turn to for advice. There's mentees, because we should all be giving back. Customers, because obviously customers are a great source of business and referrals. Then you have advocates, people who actually stand up and promote you. They're the people who send you referrals. And then the largest component of your network are your partners. And these are people who solve problems that you don't solve, but allow you to add value into your network. Think of it as the who's your plumber, right? Or where's a great restaurant to go to? Well, we know what those are, and we can share that with people and give value back in. And that's really the key.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, because what it all boils down to, connecting with people, is building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Connection is a thing that is an ongoing wheel that continues to move. And, it's Paula, you had mentioned in your book, one that I am rereading right now, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Love that book. Anybody who has not read that book, from wherever you are in life, you have to read that book. But one thing that Dale's all about is about the relationship with people, no matter what you're doing in life and business, and focusing on them and not on yourself. And I just have a workshop going on. This isn't an ad for the workshop, but it's a workshop called Turn Cold Calling into Making Friends. And the basis of that whole workshop is building relationships and focusing and serving people. And I think that's what you do so well, Paula. The reason that you've been so successful in your businesses is because you focus on people and you make them feel special.
Thank you. Self-talk even enters here, because if you introduce yourself to someone, or you're wanting to know someone's name, and usually the first thing people will say is, I'm horrible with names. Well, why would you tell your brain that? Let's tell our brain, oh, I really want to learn your name. Sometimes I have them spell it. But I definitely write it down somewhere, whether it's in my phone or in a book. But learning names is so important. And we have contests with our employees because we want them to know how important it is. And the world is struggling to know how to make connections, and especially children, because they're just so glued to phones or computer games. So even though everybody knows how important this is, doesn't mean that everybody is doing it or making it a priority.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right, because when I'm coaching people and I talk to them, I say, you probably know a lot of what I'm going to bring up. And they go, oh, yeah, I know that. And I just look at them and I say, so why aren't you doing it? Because we know, all of us know so much that we don't do. We don't actually do positive things for ourselves that would improve our life and the lives of others around us. And this whole relationship wheel, Paula, Nancey, I'm sorry, comes back to you. And that is, we've got to make sure that we are strong and positive and friends with ourselves so that we can go out. That's how we reach people for the Lord too. We just get out there and we have to love ourselves. Otherwise, people are like, yeah, I don't know about this person because they act like they don't even like themselves.
I think that's one of the things. My word for the week, I send out emails to everyone I have email address for. And the word for this week is aware. Sometimes we just go through life kind of like a leaf on the wind. We just kind of go like, and we are not aware of what we're doing. Just like what Paula said about, I'm horrible with names. I was just thinking that I'm so much better with my self-talk, but yet, that is something I do. And so you got to become aware of the things that you need to work on. It's hard to work on them if you're not aware that they're tripping you up. And just by switching your mind and telling it that, hey, I can learn this person's name. I'll learn to spell it. I'll, connect it to something so I can remember it. Instead of saying, oh, I'm just horrible with names, and just going along with it, you become aware. And so my word for my followers this week is aware.
Yeah, I think that is critical. It's funny. I was watching with my wife an old episode. Actually, it was the initial episode of Frasier. I don't know if you guys remember that show, but what was funny about it was he was online on his radio show and he was making all kinds of blunders and mistakes. And he goes out to the production person and he asks her, so what do you think? What do you think about the show? She goes, oh, it was great. And he goes, no, really. What do you think of the show? And she goes, well, you kept calling Jan Jim, and Jen's the one that has a self-image problem. And so you're calling her by the wrong name and you're doing, and I was thinking, it is so important to have names. So Nancey, I'm going to beg your forgiveness. I don't know how many times I've misspelled your name because mostly I'm going to blame my phone because Siri has no idea how to spell your name. But the E in your name, oh my goodness. So I apologize for that. But anyway, at least I know your name. I just spell it wrong. But it's really critical with people, to showing them you really care, because if you can never get their name right and you can never get information about them right, they know you're not listening. And if you're not listening, they know you don't really care. Right, Scott?
Yeah, that was the first book that I published, and you can see my title, Motivational Listener. And so the first book that I published is actually called Motivational Listener, A Guide to Being Successful at Business Networking Events. And the subtitle is also Be Interesting by Being Interested. And so really I was focusing specifically on business networking events. And it's so critical that you are using your active listening skills. But in that particular book, we differentiate between active listening, which is really, although it's called active listening, it's very passive because that person is guiding the conversation. But as a motivational listener, you're helping to guide that conversation by asking the person questions that allow them to share about themselves. And so that's a huge part. So if you want to summarize what it means to be a motivational listener, that is if Paula and I are having a conversation, my goal is for Paula to leave the conversation feeling better about herself than before we started that conversation.
Right. And you are so good at that too. And, speaking of leaving conversations, we actually have to wind things up. And Scott and I have a Wednesday show called The Experience Live with Russ and Scott, which this is an ad. Live with Russ and Scott, 7 a.m. every Wednesday, Pacific Daylight Time. We have so much fun. Great guests, just like Paula and Nancey on. And we've got our own merch there. Thank you, Gateway Imprints, for that. But I wanted to say that I always have to be the bad guy and wrap things up. So since this is my own show, I have nobody to put it off on. I have to do it all by myself. So Scott, let's start with you since you were just chatting. Then we'll go to Nancey and then to Paula. Give your final word and contact information.
Yeah. So the word is be a motivational listener. Help people to feel better about themselves when you're having a conversation with them. And so ask them questions that help them remember how remarkable they are. And the best way to get a hold of me, you can go to my website, dscottsmith.com, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, wherever is convenient for you. I am happy to have that conversation.
Scott is everywhere. Okay, and Nancey, you're up.
Yes, I am. You can reach me at nancywest.com, provided you get the E in my name. And you can pull up, all my books are there. And also, I wanted to say, I am willing to talk with anybody and to help anybody. I do have a workshop, a free workshop coming up October the 22nd at the MBVA building in downtown Lebanon. And it's just going to be it's going to be free this time because I'm working out the kinks, because I haven't really done a lot with my workshop over COVID. And this will be my first in-person one in 2 years. And if you're interested in talking more about just improving your own vision of yourself and liking yourself, because when you walk into a room, instead of feeling, what do they think of me? Turn it around to what Scott said about, how can I help them? How can I bring out something in them? And so a lot of improving your self-image is taking your eyes off of yourself.
Yeah,
So anyway, just check out my books. And if you want a one-on-one, or if you want a group session with my workshops, just get a hold of me, Facebook or Instagram. Is that what we're on? I don't even know what we're on here.
We're on all kinds of things right now. We're all over the place. So
okay, just check it out.
All right. And do you have a website too, Nancey?
My website is nancywest.com.
There you go. I just want to make sure you said that again. Okay, great.
Yeah. It's and right now it's got some hang-ups, but I'm working with your tech guy to try to get that straightened out yesterday. So I'm going to see that everything is connected and working today.
You're all good. You're in good hands. Okay. Paula, speaking of good hands, I mean, I'm telling you, I just see God shining all around you. I got to tell everybody, Paula signed my book, and she said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon you, Isaiah 61, and keep speaking his love and encouragement. That's what keeps me going every day. Thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure, Russ. God has made us for relationships, relationships in business, but in our homes, whoever it is that we live with, and especially the people that we see on a regular basis. And as an employer, many of us are around our people that we work with more than we are our own family. So my final word is move towards someone by building that relationship. If you've learned their name, then reach out to them on a consistent basis. That's how you're going to build the relationship. And especially with children, teaching them to look each other in the eye and to speak a kind word to someone. So I am still a working woman, and many businesses, and especially Chamber of Commerce in several different communities. So the best way to get in touch with me is on our Facebook page, Building a Business by Building Relationships. And then I'm also on LinkedIn under Paula Newman. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, you know what? Usama has it at the end. This has been fire. This has been great information. I love all you guys. I mean that, and I appreciate all that you're about. And Paula, thank you. Nancey, thank you. Scott, thank you so much. Everybody go out and buy their books. Get in touch with them regarding workshops, regarding food with Paula. Oh my goodness, go to a restaurant if you're in Lebanon. Woo! Schmitz is awesome. And the other ones too. I just appreciate each one of you. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you, Russ. Paula, Nancey, fabulous.
Yeah, good to see you.
Hang tight for just a second. I'm going to send you all to the green room and wrap it up. I'll be right with you. And there we go. Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining in today. And Sherry, thanks for continuing to promote my upcoming course. Thank you. And you do use the promo code FRIENDS. It saves you $50 off the course coming up. And it's all about relationships. Turn cold calling into making friends is about building relationships to build your business. So anyway, you can get more information on that. Thank you. And if don't forget, just in case you didn't see at the beginning, I am the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. After you pick up Paula's book and Nancey's book and Scott's books, then you can pick up a copy of Befuddled if you don't have it. And then you'll be well-rounded individual with different insights from different people. There you go. Well, anyway, thanks so much, everybody. Love you all being here. And again, Russ Reels Live floats. So the times are never, I don't have a standard time. Usually it's on Fridays, sometime between 11 and 1. But unlike the other shows, it moves a little bit. But I want to remind you, Scott, who is on with me again every Wednesday, D. Scott Smith and I are on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm on with Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. So join into those. It's so much fun. Love to have you there. And again, thanks so much for being here today. Have a great day and a great life. And until we see you again, have a great experience. See ya. Bye-bye.